if you want to call them that, don't intersect with each other at certain points. That doesn't make sense either. So, you could assume that at a different frequency, there's a whole different reality existing actually at certain points that share the same points of existence as places here on Earth, in our reality, and not just Earth. I mean, it could be other parts of our universe, our galaxy. Um, and that, the ancients believed this, that there are these weak spots in the veil, is what they would call them, or that at certain times of the year, the veil, if that's just a word that essentially explains why we can't see spirits, right? At certain times of the year, the veil was thinner, and it makes sense that at an area of an intersection, there would be some sort of a dissonance, a weakening of the two existences. And since we don't know enough about it, we don't know that those dissonances wouldn't, one way or another, allow for something to pass from one existence into another existence. Something from that world, that plane, to come into ours, or vice versa, which I think potentially could explain a lot of the weird disappearances where someone will be there one moment and not there another moment. I do absolutely believe and accept the multiverse theory, and I think that quite likely plays a role in what we're seeing. The Four Corners region, which is, for those who don't know, that's where the state of Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona meet. It's the only place in the United States where four states touch at a corner. It's also mostly Native American reservation land, and even before we drew the lines on the map, it was a very sacred area and kind of off limits in some of the areas. Certain mountains off limits and stuff like that. Well, in that region of the desert Southwest, it's not unknown, and this goes back to some of the stuff that I was reading on the old internet. For instance, like the Appalachian Mountains, which are very old, are very haunted, and have a lot of paranormal activity, is the idea of crystal resonance. So I've mentioned it before, but all rocks, even if they don't look like it, they're actually all composed of crystals. They're small grains that are cemented together or fused together through heat, are actually crystals if you look at them under a magnifying glass. And every crystal has a certain resonance. Well, crystals actually also are a potential form of, like, digital storage, digital memory. So one of the theories is that, some, for, we don't know why, but that for some experiences, some instances, certain events, maybe once again going back